Roberts here again. You know, one of the questions I get asked a lot as I travel around the country is, Stephen, you went from living in a rented house, you had no job, you were broke, your credit was shot, you went through a divorce, and then in less than 2 years, you're living in a multi-million-dollar home, you're making over $1.5 million in annual income, and you marry Jen, the woman of your dreams. Is that really true? I often think to myself, like I would lie to everybody else and suddenly tell you the truth, right? But I say, of course it's true. And they say, well, how'd you do it? And I say, well, I did it using the principles of what I call quantum wealth. And they say, well, so what is quantum wealth? Well, many of you may know a little bit about my background. Many of you may know that I've worked with Robert Kiyosaki. You may know that I work with Tony Robbins in psychology. You may know that I have a PhD in spiritual counseling, which is really, working with the human spirit. Not everybody has a religion, but everybody is and has a spirit. But what a lot of people don't know is that I also really have studied the scientific arena, and specifically the arena of quantum physics. And physics is really it's the study of nature, how matter moves through time and space. But we get into quantum physics, it's really a different world, because as we've now been able to create microscopes that can drill down through the molecules into atoms, through the protons, electrons, and neutrons, through the nucleus, and really deep down into where all of this matter really comes from, into the world of quanta, the quantum world, what we find is a whole different set of principles apply, a whole different set of rules that govern that world. So, for example, quanta can be a particle or it can be a wave of energy. And these waves of energy can also become particles. And these particles sometimes can be relatively thousands of miles apart, yet they interact with each other. They know where they are, and they move in unison. And the symbiotic movement and connection. So that what we realize is that everything in that world is unified, which is why it's often referred to as the unified field. And in this world of quanta, in the quantum world, there's no competition, only collaboration. There's no lack in this universe, in this quantum universe. There's only abundance. There's just a whole field of unlimited possibilities. And here's what's interesting, is when we start to take these principles that apply in the quantum world into our physical world, it changes everything. We're able to accomplish things in a fraction of the time that we're able to accomplish those things if we use the principles of what we've been led to believe are the principles that govern this physical reality. In this physical reality, we're led to believe there is not enough, that there's lack, and that we have to fight to get our piece or our share of what's available. We're led to believe that you've got to compete with other people. You've got to be somehow better than other people. And that ultimately, we're all separate from each other, and that we're not a part of a whole. So when we change those perceptions, change those beliefs, and start to apply these principles of the quantum world in this world, we're able to turn what many people may never accomplish in their whole lifetime, decades at best, and accomplish it in literally a matter of days, and take quantum leaps in our life. So that's what quantum wealth is about. And it's about really beginning the journey from the inside out, creating wealth inside out. And we've all heard this before. You can't find happiness outside of yourself. Money doesn't make you happy. But we also have these conflicting beliefs that we need to have those things in order to be admired, respected, loved, and adored by the people that are most dear in our lives. The reality is that's not true. The question people have asked for generations is, well, how do I create that in myself? How do I create that wealth in myself first? That's what quantum wealth is all about. And the next generation that are going to basically reap the benefits and reap the abundance that is in this world are what I call quantum wealth entrepreneurs. And in the next video that I'm going to send you, I'm going to talk about what a quantum wealth entrepreneur is, so that you can start to adapt the principles. Because these quantum wealth entrepreneurs are being minted right now. And they are going to create generational wealth for themselves and their family. It's happening right now. We're witnessing the largest transference of wealth in human history. And you want to be part of that. And in order to do that, you're going to need to adopt these principles of what I call a quantum wealth entrepreneur in your life. So watch out for the next video coming soon. Until then, remember what I tell you. The saying about the Greeks, the saper ord, dare to be wise. And what that means is, take new knowledge and apply it in your life. It takes courage. It's one thing to just listen to this stuff, but it's another thing to actually take it out and use it. So dare to be wise. Start to now do some of your own research. Start to study these principles and start to notice around you that they're beginning to emerge in our society. The principles of abundance, the principles of unification, of collaboration are starting to really become prominent in our society. The ideas and principles of giving without anticipating being given back to. All these things are starting to happen. So start to become aware of it. And tune into the next video I'm going to send you about how to become a quantum wealth entrepreneur, what those principles are. Until then, remember, sapere aude, dare to be wise.